Good evening and welcome once again to this week's episode of It's My Turn Now, where everyone gets a chance to just express yourself, share with us what your thoughts are. We have a very interesting subject on today, talking about relationships. Relationships are so important. What do you think, dear?
Most definitely.
And so, as we talk about relationships, we want you to get involved. We want you to share it. Just take the time to share. We appreciate each week when those they're on here. They share with others. Let them know that it's my turn now is on the air. Let us know that you're on here. Leave your comments. We're so thankful for each and every one of the shares. We have a number of people that share the program every week, and we certainly appreciate that. That helps it to get out because there, like I said, there are people who I hear a lot of positive feedback, people who enjoy the program, and it makes us feel good when you take the time to just reach out and just let us know that you are enjoying the program. So please feel free to. And we have some people already that's on here. So if you're on here, we want you to come on. We see Lisa and Lisa's on here. Lisa Lloyd, CM. I'm not sure who CM is on. And so let me see. We have our guests. They're waiting. We're so excited. This is not their first time being on here. They've been on the program before, and we've always enjoyed them. Each time they come on, we certainly enjoy them. They add so much knowledge and value to the program. Tonight's subject is there a perfect relationship? Is there a perfect? What do you think? There is a perfect relationship?
Of course not.
Okay, it's not a perfect relationship. Oh, I thought we had a perfect relationship. I had to scratch my head on that one. And also, we're talking about perfecting the better relationships with family, church, friends, community. As many of you know, my wife and I, we go around the country and we present relationship seminars. We've been blessed to just different places presenting seminars to help couples to better manage their relationship, but not only couples, family. I've worked as a marriage and family therapist, and I deal with different family dynamics. And you don't have to be married, individuals. So we're gonna just talk about all type of relationships, not just you don't have to have a partner, a husband, a wife, or boyfriend to realize the importance of a healthy relationship. When it comes to um, is my head kind of is my head on right, baby? She's trying. I told you she's still trying to get my
It's
head.
the opposite.
She's still trying. She's still trying to get my head on straight. All right. Well, keep on working with it, baby. Keep on working with it. So again, you don't have to. It's not about necessarily couples, family, just all types of relationships. Sometimes people have just challenges, just getting along with other people. Challenges, getting along with people on the job, people in church, just different relationships. So hopefully, at the end of this program, again, I want you to just tell someone, tell your friends, tell your enemy, tell whoever it is that it's my turn now on the air. Again, there's a link that's on my Facebook page, and if you go on the link, click on the link. If you want to come on live, you can. We can see you, we can hear you, and feel free to share your thoughts, your questions, or your comments with us. Feel free to share your comments with us on this program. So, without any further ado, we're going to bring our guests on. This is not their first time; they've been on here before, and we really enjoy them. And so we decided to bring them on again and let them tell us about themselves. We have Brian and Gloria Carters. The Carters, they're members of their Covenant Keepers' organization. So welcome to It's My Turn Now.
Thank you. It's my turn now.
All right, there you go. There you go. You get your turn. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
What's your
Ladies
name?
first.
All right. I'm Gloria Carter. I have been married to this best piece of chocolate ever
Right, all
for
right. Down,
33 years.
how long?
Maybe 17, 33 years.
In
33 years old. So
Mhm.
it's honeymoon, ain't it, babe?
That's awesome.
Honeymoon.
We're still on the honeymoon stage. Yes.
There you go.
We have 2 boys. What else can we tell about each other?
we both work. We're not grandparents yet, and we're okay with that. We're
got two
okay with
boys.
that, and that means we get to travel a little bit and continue to get to know each other before the grandkids come and take all our affection. So we just are enjoying life. So I'm a social worker by trade. I do a men's program, both in the community and in the prison system, just encouraging dads to be the best dads they can be. And also work with the Black Men's Group, Black men in the community, building Black men. And then we do work with under Overcoming Church. We work with the Covenant marriage ministry, along with a couple of teams, other couples who we just have great fun just doing different couples events
We're under
throughout
the
the year.
leadership of
Pastor Bruce and
Loretta
Loretta Farr.
Ooh, go
Yes.
far, go far.
Good people. Good people.
Yes.
I will say this, I did share the link to your Facebook page, so if any of your friends are on your Facebook page, they can see you on there. So if you check your card, if you check your Facebook page, and we have some people that are ready to come on. We're gonna just go ahead and start. Don't forget, feel free to message if you have a comment or something. Well, I was just going to bring on B Minor, but B Minor just left.
Yeah. Oh, he left. That was from the version not on Facebook.
He just left. Maybe he was. Sometimes when we tell people that they can click that link if they want to come on live, they don't realize that they're actually going to be seen. And so we've had people hit that button to come on, and once they realize, they're actually. You mean I'm on the program? They don't even know they're going to come on. So if you press that link, we will be able to see you and hear you. So, but you're more than welcome to press that link. But know when you press that link. And so, let me see. Somebody's getting a comment. Okay, since you're here, I'm gonna let you help read this. Help read tonight. You read that for us, Charlie.
From where?
Comment.
Oh, BMG brother. Who's that?
Oh, okay. That's probably one of my Black Men's Group brothers.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. And I'm so glad to have my wife here with me. She's helping me out tonight. Then Roy said blessings. All right. Blessing. I think one of the things as a pastor, I have a dual role as a pastor and in therapy and counseling. Some of the challenges that I hear people and many times, first question people ask me is, what do you think is the biggest problem that people have in relationships? The biggest problem that people have in relationships, and from my experience, is communication.
Yeah.
Communication, trust. Those are some of the two biggest challenges.
In finance.
Yes, absolutely.
Communication, trust, finance. I was watching on the news on yesterday. I think this is Teen Relationship Awareness Month. In other words, because there are a number, and I hope if someone has some teen children, tell them to come on here, because there's a high statistics of young ladies that are being abused by their boyfriends. And young men don't know how to handle their emotions, and they want to control these young ladies, and they're being abused. And so there's a number of groups that are encouraging women to find someone to talk to. And I'm encouraged, maybe someone's talk to, if you're only hearing you have a young teenager, or it doesn't have to be a teenager, there are young ladies that are being abused or are in unhealthy relationships where they're being battered and being abused. And we talk about domestic violence. We've had that stories on domestic violence, but there's a cycle where the young man, and I'm going to say young man because it predominantly happens to the men, but women, women are stepping up now, not in a good way. Women are stepping up now, and they're becoming abusers as well. But the cycle is the male will abuse her, and he may put her in hospital, may hurt her, and things. Oh, I'm so sorry. Then he'll shower her with affection. He'll shower her with gifts, and then after that, things are going along well. And so things happen, and all of a sudden, it triggers again the cycle. and many times they are ashamed to tell anyone. They're ashamed for a number of reasons. They're ashamed because they're embarrassed it happened. They're ashamed because they can't believe that they allow it to happen to themselves, and so then they begin to develop a low self-esteem. So, Elder and Sister Carr, tell us what you do with your relationships, as you said you have your program.
The healthy relationship program I teach in the schools, in the high schools, deals with healthy relationships, identifying healthy relationships. What is healthy? What's unhealthy? What's even toxic? That's a word that the young people are using now. And to me, that's an extreme, and abuse falls under that. Abuse is an imbalance of power, is when somebody's putting their power over on somebody. And then we talk about the fact that there's blinders that get in the way of people recognizing that they're in an unhealthy relationship. Mm-hmm. And so, some of those blinders are things like just the family likes the person. Mm-hmm. There is love, sex, all these different things that blind, sometimes money, so the person flashing money around, the person has status and all that sort of thing, age differences, that they enjoy the roller coasters, just like what you explained, Bishop, is the highs, because it's kind of the breakup to makeup, and then the makeup, it comes with roses, it comes with the apology, it comes with that new honeymoon period, and then is a crash. And then, you're like, well, but, if I hang on in there, the rose part will come back again. And so what I encourage them to understand, young people, is just like, don't beat yourself up and say, I'm stupid, I'm dumb. Or if you're looking onto a relationship and say that person is dumb, that person is stupid. No, that person is human.
Right.
And what is the human thing? We want to be loved. That's part of our basic, just food, shelter, water, wanting to belong, wanting to be loved. All of that is built in. So, remember the song, everybody plays the fool sometime. Except. Yeah. So we just explained that. Be that positive person for the other person. So when that window of saying, hey, do you recognize this is unhealthy, is there, then they can help or point them in the direction to someone who could get them help. And so I believe in the win-win when it comes to people and relationships. There's no losers in life. It's just people cross the finish line at different times. And so if I was going into a 4K walk run, against somebody that was younger, they're going to finish. It's still daylight.
Right.
People will be cheering on with them. By the time I finish, it's like, it probably just be my family here, and the janitor talking about time, or I'm ready to eat. Come on, But anyway it goes, I still get a medal and a plaque, just like the person finished. So,
and isn't that the scripture though?
Yeah.
Run your race with patience.
There, so
that you may obtain the
prize, the obtainable prize. Yeah, is the bride. So, the whole purpose is to let people know it can be done. Healthy relationships are something that, yes, you should demand. It's not an option. It's not, well, if you think so. It's like, this must happen in order for me to be. It's like a tattoo, it's just like tattoo. You want everybody to see it, right? So you want everybody to see what my demands of health are, no excuses.
Very good. Sister Rose Maxey, God bless you. Says good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining this week's episode. What I'm going to do, I'm going to share, my wife and I, we're going to share some nuggets. This is our first relationship book, The Window to Understand and Building Healthy Relationships. My wife and I wrote this book right here, and we do a lot of seminars. We use this book and some of the other materials. So we're going to share with our with the audience, those who aren't here, call your friends. We're going to share a few of the nuggets that people come out to our conferences to hear. But as you were saying, Elder, is that the goal is for it to be a win-win situation for everyone. And I think when people realize that you are on a team, even wherever it is, whatever type of relationship it is, you want it to be a win-win relationship. I think the problem is sometimes people have issues dealing with conflict resolution too. That's a big part of it too. How can I express my disagreement in a positive way without arguing, without fighting? Because no two people, as my wife said earlier, surprised me. She said, there's no perfect relationship, and kind of surprised me. I thought she just want to come on here and say, "Man, you're the perfect man," and all that. But I guess she informed me there's no perfect relationship. Now, why y'all laughing?
I tell him he's a legend in his own mind.
Yeah.
We're perfecting. We're always progressive. I'm sorry, Bishop, you have not arrived.
You are far less than perfect. You are like above less than perfect. You are
above less than perfect.
And I heard I heard someone say, like, when you're looking for a mate, make a list. There's nothing wrong with making a list. Mm-hmm. Then he said, you become that list. You become all those things that you're asking for. And then that other person, hopefully they'll do the same thing. Like when you're, looking for a mate.
That's so true. Let me see. Brother Keith said, giving people, God bless you. God bless you, I guess what he's saying. Thanks, Brother Keith. Sister Myrna said they can surprise you sometimes. Laugh out loud. So we got to be real. That's so true. I think that's a problem. A lot of times people aren't real in relationships, and we have to learn how to be real. And we do have challenges in relationship, and sometimes we have unreasonable expectations. We have unreasonable expectations. I think, as Sister Walton was saying, she said, write a list of what you like, and don't expect more from someone else than you're willing to do yourself. Sometimes people expect the world of the mate or even their friends. Have you seen those friends that is one person is always doing for the other person, but the other person doesn't seem to reciprocate? And so don't get upset with, and I've seen people have the nerve to the person does things for them all the time, and the one time they don't do what they want, they have the nerve to get upset with them. Have you seen it? And want to fall out with them. But what about?
Well, I tell you, I've had that experience, and that is, I'm a morning person. Mm-hmm. And so I'm one of those people, you go through the halls, I walk the halls and say good morning, people, and then they don't respond. They don't say anything. And then the one day that I decide, okay, I'm not going to speak to this person. They're going to keep on walking. Chase me down. What's wrong with you? You didn't even speak. You didn't bring the sunshine. I'm like, well, you act like I'm bringing the rain because I'm saying good morning every morning. So yes. Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll ask them, say, when you gonna bring the sunshine? When I don't bring it, you bring the sunshine. Right. Ms. Murray said, good advice, make a list and become that list. Thank you. Bishop Rillo said, praise the Lord, everyone, praise the Lord, and God bless Bishop. Ms. Murray said, yes, sometimes we have unreasonable expectation. Good word. I think that's a big part of it too. Don't expect others, to do for you what you wouldn't do for them. And even if you are the type of person, there are some people who by nature are giving. Yeah. And that's okay. If you're a giving person and you feel good about giving, don't feel bad when someone else doesn't feel the same way. That's some people just, by nature, they like to give gifts. And when we talk about the 5 love languages, many times we talk about that included. Some people like words of affirmation. And so that person may like to always compliment you, but there's some people like active kind of show me. Action speaks louder than words. So I think it's important to find out what the person's love language is. Let me see. You can read this as well.
That's Brother Ronnie.
Okay. Can you see what he's saying or just?
He said he had the same experience himself. To shake his head, he experienced the same thing.
Okay. Do you find, Bishop and First Lady, do you ever find that sometimes, especially with women, we have expectations that are in our thought process and just think that somebody automatically is going to live up to that expectation? Only this is in our thoughts, but we don't communicate. what we want or how we feel.
Yeah, I think I find out when I'm counseling with a lot of couples and individuals. Well, he all know, and the wife or the girlfriend could be mad, and he doesn't have a clue. Well, then they're mad because he don't have a clue, but she doesn't want to tell them.
Yeah,
So that's kind of you're talking about a win-win situation. That's a no-win situation. Help me what I don't know.
But sometimes I think people are afraid of communicating that what they need or what they want for fear of rejection, because that rejection is a big thing. When you feel you're going to be rejected, if I'm honest about how I feel, a lot of times it's the fear of rejection or not being heard.
That's true. For instance, like if I tell you, sometimes I tell you, did you get that trash? Did you take out the trash like on Thursday?
Oh Lord,
Trash
here
night.
we go. Telling my business. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
That's all right. Put it on out
keep
there.
it real.
Oh, hold on, y'all. Hold on. No, go ahead.
And he may say, you know, I know to do that. Or if I may be reluctant to say something because I know he may, you know.
So what she's saying is sometimes she should remind me to do something I'm already planning on doing it. So I'm saying, give me a chance to do it before you remind me.
Right.
I guess, and there's really nothing wrong with her reminding me. And this is a challenge and this may be my personal challenge. There's nothing wrong with her saying it because it's all about reflective listening. And a lot of times when we deal with communication, we deal with what's called reflective listening. So the question is, when she says that, what am I hearing? I could be hearing you not doing what you need to be doing. But what she could be saying is that I'm just trying to help you so you won't forget.
Right.
And so when we have what's called reflective listening, which is good in any relationship, you can ask your boss, your employee, your neighbor, your husband, your wife, your sister, your brother. So what I'm hearing you say, so go ahead and tell me. Say what you're telling about the trash.
Don't forget to take the trash out.
So I can say, girl, what you mean don't forget to take the trash out? You on my case again? Or I can say, what I'm hearing you say, dear, is that you're trying to remind me because the trash needs, you look this way, babe. She's looking at the computer. What you can say is, I'm trying to remind you to take the trash out. Mm-hmm. So you see that? So sometimes we just communicate differently. Sometimes my wife communicates different, but she's looking at the screen. So I like to look at people when I'm talking to them. So even, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I like
there we go. What's that word? Bantering, you know.
Yes,
bantering.
but this is banter because I'll bite
each other. But you can do it tastefully,
right? Or so
you know.
So what really is, and two is we have to work on. Some people have what they call a negative thought process. They receive everything from a negative viewpoint. Bible says, to pure all things are pure. So I have to say, I can't allow the enemy to say, well, she's trying to get on my case. I could receive it that way. I can say, well, she's just trying to remind me. And the way that I receive it affects how I respond to what she's saying. I think that's important. How are we receiving what other people are saying? Bishop said, there's no room for selfishness in a relationship. It cannot be one-sided. That's so true. And so that's a lot of is understanding. And again, that goes to communicating. Everyone has their own communication style. And so some people they put a lot of sugar on their communication, and some people are just more direct. So you have to know, you have to understand.
It depends on the occasion. Some things call for directness, and then some things call you're supposed to put some sugar on.
Go ahead and we'll let you elaborate on that.
All righty. Sometimes don't hold your head down. So, sometimes you have to say what needs to be said, and there's no sugarcoating it. It has to be said, especially when you're raising children. Or I mean, and the Bible says that you'll be simple with it. Let your yes be yes, and your no be no. Sometimes there's no room for gray areas.
Yeah.
But then there's times. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Then there's some times where you do need to be it's not what you say, it's how you say
how
it.
You say it,
and how you present it,
and when you say it.
When you say it. Like one day we were out and Brian was putting on my coat and I was like, man, what you doing? My arm, he had the coat way over here. I'm like, my arm was right here. So I was like, you need to practice. It's been a long time. You haven't been.
She says that in front of everybody. And first of all, I was in a whole blown conversation. He's gonna come in wanting to two men talking, and I'm not trying to be sexist, but the two men were talking, and then she just comes in like it's time to put my coat on, big thing. It's like, and knowing her, we ain't leaving no time soon.
No,
she got more people to talk to and
Brian
everything.
Carter has
so
a goodbye to her and a hello
it was
to
like,
her.
let's just. You're gonna get your coat on. I promise. I'm gonna help you. But now I've lost my train of thought of talking to brother because you were demanding me to put your coat on right. And it's just like, believe me, I'm not gonna have it on inside out, upside down. Your arms are gonna be in that coat. I guarantee you. But she wanted attention.
Is that what it was?
I'm just saying, yeah, it was a nice coat.
There you go.
Like
there you go.
out and she wanted attention.
We
so
was on a date.
It would have been, she said it's on a date, but we weren't exclusive. We were at someone's occasion.
That's
so it
true.
was just like fellowship and like, okay, let me
and I didn't
stop
know he had
and
bothered
put
him.
this woman's coat on for her and hold her and affirm her. But a lot of times we as men don't know when someone needs to, your wife needs to be affirmed, and sometimes you just have to halt and stop everything and just be like, are you okay, boo? Or do some kind of symbolism, because you don't know what they're thinking, or what's going on. So
and it
it's
wasn't
an
what
adjustment.
I said, it was when I said it, and it was like mess to him was like I was messing with his manhood because he's around the brothers, and here I am, fussing about my coat. So we had some intense fellowship over that on the way home, and so then, yep. And so we came to agreement that that don't do that in public like that.
Yeah.
So then it was so funny. So the next couple of weeks later, we were going to a dinner, and I'm very much into etiquette. So I was like, okay, don't forget. Now you start with the fork out, the farthest.
And I knew
out.
all this. I practiced that stuff.
And he was like, okay, now you're schooling me too much. I'm like, well, you said to not say it in public. So we private. Don't forget to pull my chair out. Don't forget to do these things, because we, spend a lot of time separate. But when we're out, chivalry is not dead. I don't want it to be dead in my relationship. I want to be.
So what you have to do is you have to text them while you're sitting at the table. Just text them. Do not pull my table out. Do this. Do this.
But
know where you have it.
On behalf of Lady Gloria, when my husband's out a lot, if we together, because he loves to talk,
True.
And I'm thinking, now you got to be considerate, because I've been waiting a long time. So sometimes I will. It's like, can I have the keys? Just give me the keys so I can go sit in the car or do something. But I have been used to waiting for years, him being the treasure of this and doing this and that. But I found out, with church and stuff, a lot of times I would drive and stuff like that. But when we are together and I'm waiting on him a long time, I would ask for the keys.
She will ask for keys. One thing too, I found out, as we've been married 43 years.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 44 years. 44 years in June. But we were married about 25 years before I realized I like to be around a whole lot of people. I like, I don't, it don't make me any different. I can go somewhere. Sometimes my wife will go somewhere. I don't know anybody. I have no problem. You can put me on an island. I don't have to know anybody. As long as we speak the language, I'm going to go and talk, and I will feel comfortable. But I found out that one of my wife's language is quality time. And so
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I like to be around a whole lot of people, you know, I'm the more the merrier, you know, I have no problem. There, and she's and I said, "Oh, you want to go out?" No, I just want the two of us to go out. I mean, it was 25 years before I even realized that. So like on Fridays is our date night. So about 90% of the time, well, maybe 75%. 75% of the time we go by ourselves. 25% we may go with you know, other people. But I realize now that she likes that quality time. So
and look,
God bless
sis,
Brother Keith. Good evening, people. God bless him.
Look, and then when we go out, he's still talking to the waiter or the waitress. He still,
I do. Yeah,
he still loves to
do.
talk. So I just kind of join. I just kind of join in with him, you know.
Everybody.
But I'm still an introvert. I am an ambivert. I can toggle. Brian is an extrovert and likes the whole room. And so it's okay. But a lot when I noticed about Brian is he doesn't share me with anybody, but he likes to share his love everywhere. When I'm with him,
she's got to give me an account because I don't. I believe that, you know, I like seeing her interact and everything. Right. For the most part, now we were. This is so funny. We were in New York over the fall, and you know, Gloria's just a nursing person. So we're on the Brooklyn Bridge, and you know, it's the heat index or whatever. And so this lady falls out.
And I said, "Oh my, she had a heat stroke."
And so
Nobody
Gloria knew what to do. So she's putting the lady on the side. She's telling the people, "Don't let her drink the water. Just pour water over her." All this attending. We don't even speak the same language as this lady, and they give her the phone to talk to 911 about, you know, so she's like totally catering. Of course, I'm just looking, but I'm, you know, whatever I can do in prayer, you know, I'm praying, I'm interceding, okay? And so, I did pull her away and say, okay, the ambulance people are coming. The folks know what to do. Let's get out of here before we get stuck, you know, on the bridge, having you know, because the next thing you know, she'll be in the ambulance with the lady going to the hospital. No, not doing that. So we get away from there. As soon as we get off the bridge, which, you know, it takes a while to walk off the bridge, and then here come the EMT people. She's like, they're up there, and this is what's going. Like she's a doctor, she's a nurse or something, telling them what. And so
I gave him the pulse and everything, tell him how much her pulse was and everything.
So that's. Then we go further into like Chinatown, Little Italy or whatever, and we're just walking, it's just us, and then all of a sudden I hear boom, and I hear this woman go, ah, you know, so man roll over this lady's foot, and she is like, you know, and I'm like, I don't know whether it's a petition between us, a half petition, so I don't know whether she like her leg is bleeding or half off or whatever, but I told Gloria, I was like, Gloria, do not go over there. You know, Gloria's nurse mode kicked in. She's telling the onlookers, well, get her something to lay on because the concrete is hot and this and this and that. She's talking to the lady, and the lady's fussing about getting hit because, you know, she was injured, but she wasn't like, you know, impaired or anything. And I was like, oh, and I was like, okay, she's fine. You see, she's fine. These people are around. Let's go.
And he told me I couldn't talk to anybody
else. Don't talk to anybody else. Then some lady on the subway, like an hour or two later, starts talking to her and telling her whole story to Gloria. And it's like, oh gosh, good thing we were about to get off. I said, we're about off. It's right. This is our stop. So that's her thing, you know. And my thing is with people that I know, you know, I'm campaigning or talking about whatever programs I got or whatever. I'm a pitch man. So if she's not in it, she's ready to go. But if she's into it, then it's like, oh yeah, you know, she just has to find her part in what I'm interested in. And sometimes, I mean, even though you're married 33 years, you got separate interests, you know, and it's my passion is people and, you know, youth and stuff. And, you know, just, you know, unless it's a direct situation, it's not that she don't care, but she just, that's not her main thing. So it's like, she's going to be short while I'm going to be long.
I'm going to say, so I want to respond to some of these questions, response.
All right.
Yeah.
Shumper said, congratulations, that's a lifespan. I guess that's when we said we were married 43 years. You know, I remember when we were married 24 years, I said, wow, honey, I said, I've been married over half my life. I've been with you.
Yeah.
Longer than
Longer you've been.
Or an adult.
An adult. We've been married our whole life.
Yeah, our whole adult life.
Now this is our friend right here. Now we're gonna have to excuse him, but he's always causing trouble. This year, Amen said, well, he would talk to everybody. I'm saying like he was. This is what he would be saying. He was right. He said he'd be talking to everybody. So Walt, he said, "Come on, brother Walt. He and I were at Walmart one time, and the cashier." It was an older lady, a cashier, and I was talking to her. I said, how you doing there? She said, I'm doing fine. And then she just started talking.
Right. Yes. You have a friendly demeanor.
And so he said, come on, all right. We ain't got time to talk to her. And you know what she said? She said, I don't know why. I don't usually talk to people like that.
Right.
She just found herself opening up. And nature. And so sometimes you can sense that. And so she was kind of glad because she called herself. Sometimes people have a need to talk. And they do. And that's why I many times when my wife, I'll ask a waiter or the waitress, how's your day going? And, and you'd be surprised. One lady told me, she said, no one has ever asked me that. So that's right. Tell your waiter, your waitress, say, how your day going? I was at a restaurant not too long ago. I collected bills. And they was talking about how slow it was. I gave every waiter and waitress in there a $2 bill. They were so happy. Wow. They were so happy. My wife and I went back to the restaurant last week, and the guy came and said, man, he was so excited. I didn't remember. He said, I still have the $2 bill you gave me. He opened up his wallet, bill for and showed it to us. So, you know, a little act of kindness, this Elder Amos,
goes a long way.
Goes a long way. Let me see.
I want to tell Elder Amos and Lady Amos, thanks for inviting us. They invited us out to Charleston for on Valentine's Day. And we had a really
Charleston's is a nice place.
Yes, it is. They're wonderful cafes.
We had such a good time. They would have made it better if this y'all had treated us.
No, we was good.
The thing about that is that Gloria, because of her friendliness, windows open. You know, she's got the slogan that basically God puts the whole world on sale for her. And it really does work. And then, you know, I used to try to use her sharpness and be like, okay, you know, I can't fuss nobody out, but I'm mad with the cable company. Call the cable company and fuss them out. And then so she's like, that ain't what I am. That ain't how I do. So one day when I sent her to go fuss the cable company out, like in person, she goes in there and once again sparks a conversation and gets to talking to low and different things with folk. And instead of fussing somebody into me feeling better, I felt better because she was talking to the lady and the lady told her how we could save some money or something like that. So it's just like, okay.
Gave us our DVR for free.
Yeah. So it's just like
better,
honey, kindness, right? Yes. You win with kindness. So
when we're talking about relationships, we have to realize that and communication, you never know what a person's dealing with. I mean, you may be dealing with someone who's been abused at home, somebody who they may work for the cable company, but their lights and gas about to be turned off.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You never know why they act the way they act. I remember I had someone call me about a hospital bill. I think I owed like $30, and they were so nasty. I said, man, why you have to talk so rough to me for $30? And so I said, and then all of a sudden she said, said, now you broke me down. I was so nice to her that she started acting nice. I said, because she made me so mad. I said, all right, I'm going to pay $1 a month. That was flesh. I'm going to pay. Because, you know, FYI, if you have a hospital bill, you can make payments. I said, I'm going to pay $1 a month. She made me upset. So then once she apologized, and I said, okay, I'll just go ahead and pay the bill off. But I was hot because she was just so nice. But we cannot always respond because it's not going to help. And I got a few more. We'd like to read this one right here as well. Leela Davis.
Leela Davis. Yes, you're right. We do have to be real with each other.
Very good.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you. I'll let you read the next one. Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. This is wonderful.
Oh, here comes Ella Amos. I knew it was going to come back home, baby. Now, all seriousness, just go ahead.
District Elder Amos. In all seriousness, Bishop, you do have a way with getting through to people.
Well, thank you.
It's a calling. It's you know, a God-given talent or a calling, an anointing.
Because I would say for me, I am a Peter, but I'm learning to be John the Beloved.
John the Beloved. All right, please learn fast, quick, and in a hurry, because these folks are rough out here. I'm telling you, know, there are people who are on edge, and you'd be surprised. See, especially us in the church realm, for the most part, we're used to people who are talking nice. You know, there's mean folks in church. I'm not gonna say not, but we're not used to folks cussing each other out. But people out in the world, they are dealing with issues and they're dealing with challenges, and you know, they just, you know, I'm about ready to go off up in here. There's some folks that they are just 1 second from going off, from shooting somebody, and you can tell. I remember one time I was out when I was in Evansville. I was talking to a gentleman. I would just walk to the person. God has given me a spirit of discernment. Rough looking guy. I said, man, how you doing tonight? And sometimes, you know, you have to have that spirit of discernment because you can't talk to everybody. He said, and I just started talking to him. He said, man, I'm so glad you told me. He said, I was great to kill somebody tonight. So you just never know. God may position you in somebody who's going through it, and they may be rough, abrasive, but the Bible said a soft answer turns away wrath. So when we're in communication and relationships, especially, you know, if me and my wife were having disagreement, if I raise my voice to her, guess what she gonna do? What you gonna do, baby?
Raise it.
Yeah, it depends. Because sometimes I'll just get quiet.
Sometimes you get quiet. When was that?
Sometimes.
I knew it was coming.
You know what? I am a reactor. So if he activates, I'm going to react. Yes.
She says that all the time.
I said all the time. It's what you put in is what you're going to get out of it. Now, if you sow a seed of bitterness, and you think you're going to get a sweet piece of fruit from that,
right?
No. Even what you're supposed to, how are you supposed to sow that seed?
So you're saying you reap what you sow.
Lady Gloria, I'll tell you what happened to me once, and I tell this sometimes in the marriage seminar. We was angry about something. I don't remember, of course, right now. And excuse me. And so I cooked his breakfast, and I just cooked it really fast, and you know, here you go, you know, there you go. Then he said, "This is the best breakfast I had."
You know what happened?
That is supposed to happen.
No weapon it won't work.
It's so funny. We still talk about
God got that breakfast.
He said, "This is the best breakfast I ever."
God turned that around.
That you ever did.
All that did was put the fuel on the fire. I remember our first. We both always talk about our first disagreement. We don't remember when it was over, but we remember our reactions. The first thing was Brian didn't know what to do with himself, so he thought, "Well, I guess this is the moment I'm supposed to get on the couch." I was in the room and Lord convicted me, said, "You need to go get your husband off that couch. He does not belong there." And I'm like, "No, let him, you know, to me, I'm like, let him stool, you know, let him get over. He's tripping. Yeah, get out." Lord said, "No, go get him." I went and hugged him. We still wasn't done with the disagreement. And I said, come to bed. You don't belong here. And then also the next day, I was thinking about you, First Lady. I said I had cooked, and he was like, "You cooked for me?" I said, "Yes." Even though I'm upset with you, you got to eat. And so, we kept talking, and so we talked through it. And ever since then, I cannot put him out of that bedroom.
She doesn't want me to get a king size bed either because she's too much divide. It's a whole ocean between us or whatever. So
now we were counseling with a couple one time, and the husband said every time him and his wife get in an argument, he gets diarrhea when she gets finished cooking.
Oh,
every time he said he's put something in the food. So I'm glad you had that story. But this is another book right here that we wrote. It's called Unlocking Roadblocks to Lasting Love. And we talk about a few things. We deal with finance, developing personal growth and self-improvement, 10 keys to building a powerful relationship, defining the 10 elements, explain how each of these impact your relationship, 10 areas, then you give a person 10 areas to look where you may need work on. And so it's almost like some of it's like a workbook too. You can say like communication, explain why effective communication is important to you in relationship. And then you say, discuss how trust serves as the foundation. So this is not just, like I said, couples, but this is any relationship. So if you find yourself, because there's some people find themselves dealing with all types of relationships. But I just remember earlier you were talking about something, and my wife, I was at Grace Apostolic Church, and my daughter, we did a mental health seminar. We were on a panel, and one of the panelists saw my wife and I were out to dinner. They said, "Well, your husband," what did she? They said, "Well, your husband likes to be nice to everybody. He kind of sugarcoats." Well, I just tell it like it is. I ain't gonna be like him. And that was they were mental health therapists too, and so people have different approaches. And you talk about, sometimes you have to be direct, and there's sometimes that you have to be direct. But I try to take I try to be kind of diplomatic or what, how I approach things. But I tell people, and this is at my church, I tell people, and I say the seminar, before 10 o'clock, I'm just as patient. Kind of after 10 o'clock, I ain't got time to be him hauling around. You got to be direct, or because what you see is what you get after 10 o'clock. And then Brian Miner says kindness is key. Many people are going through rough times and don't know how to deal with that. So true, and that's why especially our young people, we have to do something. If you're in the school, we have to do something to reach the young people. I've worked in the school system. I've seen 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids have so much anger. You said, how can someone that young have so much anger? I had a young man was full of so much anger. I tried to hold him. I couldn't hold him. I was sweating. I'm trying to hold that boy. That boy had so much strength. I don't want to say he had a little devil in him, but man, I said I want to rebuke the devil because man, I said, how can somebody that little have so much strength? But there's so much anger. But the kids are hurting. They're and they're not getting love at home, and hurt people that say hurt people. So there are some parents that struggle with parenting. There are some people, and one of the things that I talk about in some of the books, I talk about attachment issues. One of the things when we deal with attachment issues is there are some people when you were brought up, your family was loving, kissing, hugging everybody family. I see family, everybody like Leave It to Beaver or one of those, sitcoms that everybody just gets along with everybody. And so what happens, and you may marry somebody they're not affectionate. They don't believe in touching folks. They never told the person love. So what happens that when these two people get together, that person who is very loving, they are used to loving. So when you are stoic and you're not showing them out the affection they're used to, then they feel rejected. They say, wow, man, what's wrong with me? Then they're feeling insecure. What's wrong with me? How come they not responding? But they're not used to that. But the person who is not used to responding, they're frustrated because now they're saying, he's too clingy. She's too clingy. They're all on me. And so that's called attachment style. And your attachment style, you have to learn to make that adjustment to the other person's attachment style. Because if the person who is used to affection and they're not getting it, they're feeling rejected. And so that's when
oh yes. And then on the flip, okay.
And that's when that person will find themselves looking to somebody else because someone else is going to give them the attention that they need. And we have to be very careful with that. Let me see. So Sarah, you read this as well.
Sister Sarah Kopp is watching. Praise the Lord.
Okay.
I have a question for
let's see who this right here is. Somebody.
Brother Carter.
We have who's that? We have Kelly Guy.
I forgot once you vacuum.
Oh, somebody got the kids. Somebody come get your kids.
Sorry.
That's all right. There you go. Did you have a comment? Well, it's my turn now.
Nope, I was just tuning in.
All right, you live and in person, sis. We see you. Thanks for joining us. All right then.
But Brother Carter, you say you talk to the men or young men. Is it a certain age group, or
I do two different things. I go to the high schools and talk to teens, boys and girls, in their classrooms about healthy relationships, and then the men, I do a fatherhood class. So we are talking about co-parenting and relationships, and just dealing with the little boy within is one of the topics, Bishop. Just addressing the little boy within, and then recognizing what our needs are, and what are the blockers that get in the way of our needs, like social, emotional, physical, intellectual, creative, and spiritual. And that basically is acronyms for all of those things in the order. So we do talk about. And then how do you recover once those haters get in the way? How do you recover? Because if you don't have a recovery, it's a wrap. And as a parent, if you can't process and be successful in this yourself, how are you going to help your kid when they feel like, oh, I'm fat, I'm ugly, nobody likes me, I'm not physically fit, or all these emotional things and different things like that. So we process that with them. And then just the things we do as couples. Go ahead.
Couples is learning how to flow in relationship with one another. First, you need to know yourself. Then you need to know your husband or your wife according to knowledge. And then we really want to apply the word, and the word is key to unlock every door, especially in relationships. And I wanted to piggyback and come back around to what you were talking about, Bishop, about relationships. Sometimes our pitfalls is that when we don't communicate in the moment, because especially as we'll hold something, and we can go all the way back to Adam and tell you what you had on when you said it, and bring that back up into another conversation that has nothing to do with what's going on. And men do it too. They say, why are we here in this moment? I'm going to bring up X, Y, and Z, but that wasn't the moment for that.
It's unfair fighting.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, you're not fighting.
So we want to make sure that we do communicate, but we communicate in all fairness.
Right. And you can't fight.
That's good.
You cannot fight if you don't know what you're fighting. Well, I'm mad. What's wrong? You know. What you mean? You know?
Because you had that whole conversation and the argument and the rebuttal already in your head.
They didn't fault the fighting. I've had couples. I'm sitting there watching them. I said, what is it? I'm not gonna tell him. He don't know. I ain't gonna tell him. I said, you may want to help him out a little bit. No, I ain't gonna help him out because he should know. I think
that's power. That's the power. It's not wanting to let go.
Well, sometimes, again, remember we talk about communication. Some people don't know how to communicate, and some people, once they're hurt and they can't handle the hurt. And so people have to understand, I think it's so important to express to the other person, hey, I'm hurt. You hurt me, and give them a chance and allow people to be human. Allow them to make a mistake, you know, and
Mhm.
realize, is this person doing this intentionally? Say, if I use this for example, and I do this when we're having a seminar, and I can step on my wife's foot. Step on her foot right now, but I ain't gonna hurt you. Step on her foot, you know. I can step on her foot and it's hurting, but I may not know I stepped on her foot. But if she
Mhm.
tells me, baby, you stepped on my foot, the pain is just the same, but now she understands it wasn't intentional. So it's a difference being intentional and accidental. So we can be hurt. Someone can say something to hurt us, someone can do something to hurt us. But the question we have to be ask ourselves is, are they doing it intentionally? And if they're not doing it,
Mhm.
give them a pass. Say, let's work on this. This is an area that we need to work on. Don't hold that over
That's
a mistake. So I think that's so important. Hey, we run out of time now. My wife and
true.
I, a lot of times we
Mhm.
do something. You know, I think we have never not done a seminar. We've been asked to do seminar. We have not presented a relationship seminar ourselves here in Indianapolis. And I think those are watching. If you think you'd like us to present a seminar, excuse me, do a seminar, and we may have to do a seminar. Have you two be on our panel for a seminar here in a relationship seminar, um, because there are a lot of, I think a lot of times problems that people have in the church is communication. You know, sometimes we may think that someone doesn't like us, no valid reasons. That's what you call irrational thought process. As why do
Yeah.
I person that's like me? Well, they look at me kind of funny. We
Mm.
had we had an elder in our church every week. He'd say, "They're looking at me. You're looking at me kind of funny. You're looking at me kind of funny. Everybody looking at him kind of funny. Bless his heart." And so, if that's what I'm thinking, then even if I'm thinking that, I have to be spiritual enough not to respond. If you look at me funny, then just give him a smile back. Some
Right.
frown back. And so, but if I think that people look at me funny and I respond to them the way I think they respond to me, then that's not helpful. So is that rational? And
I
and
think
and
too, Bishop, that these that you are talking about, that you write about and everything, and a lot of times we go to seminars or put on, seminars, we don't have enough time to actually practice it in word.
Mhm.
Practice, I mean, and I'm first admit, I just didn't grow up in a home where I'm sorry was even said. And I mean, my father was a pastor, what I'm saying? Born and raised in the church. Just I'm sorry, just wasn't, it was implied, you know what I mean? Like, but it was not practice that it comes out of my mouth. And even today, it is hard for it to come out of my mouth. Just because I'm not in practice with that. And just I've always imagined just, a session of just getting with men and just literally just practicing 20 times, say I'm sorry, and like every different word, in every tone or whatever, but say it, because we don't know how, and we think that it's tied into being soft,
And it's
being
not.
weak.
And some women are like that too. It's
Yeah.
not just men. But just
Yeah, I'm
learn.
want to say this right here real quick. When you were saying that, I was in Boston, and we talking about me talking. So I saw someone had a shirt on had "Rest in Peace," and I asked them. I said, about the shirt, and they said, well, the lady said her daughter had been killed. And so I started talking to her. I do grief and loss seminars as well. So I told them about I wish I had books. And so I happened to have some books. So she actually purchased a book. And I started talking. And then we started talking about relationship attachments. And I was talking to her and her friend. We were all together. And she was saying, I was talking about attachment issues in relationship. But that's really, I said, most of the time is the men are the one that are not really affectionate. But it's the women that are affectionate, but not the men. And the lady said, well, I tell my husband, we were brought up, we didn't do all that mushy stuff. I told him, man up. And the girl said, I told her.
That's the worst thing to tell a man.
I know I've done that to Brian Carter. He put me in my place. He said, you don't tell no man to man up.
Don't say
so
man up. I'm not a boy.
I am a woman. What did we say? What is a woman? It's a man able to carry a womb. Is that not true? People don't like to hear that. Men
don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear that either. They don't want to hear that because I'm supposed to be the weaker vessel, but I'm supposed to walk alongside you too, baby. That means I came out your side.
That's better, but don't say that that a man has a womb. I don't want to hear that.
I said me, not you. He don't want to hear that. He thinks that is just an attack on me. It's so funny, but at the same time,
so I will ask you, Sister Carter. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, "Can you man up?" Is there a different way you can put that? You remember?
I have learned.
That's what we call reframing. Reframing how you say it to them.
You can't say toughen up. You can't say none of those words. None of those type of words.
Be a man. No, that's the worst. Do not tell me to be a man. So what's my response, Elder Bishop? I've been a man as long as you've been a woman. So don't tell me to be a man now. I've been a man as long as you've been a woman.
I learned to say is, what can I do to help you achieve a goal?
But that needs to be practiced too.
Yeah.
Because I need to hear it out of her mouth to understand what that means and where she's going with that, But I don't need a reminder to be a man because the society out there is so rough for a man. You know what I mean? That I don't need. I knew that was coming. See, I'm talking about a man. So when I come home, I'm not drinking. I ain't hitting you. I ain't. It's what you talking about. Be a man. What are you talking about? Man up. What does that mean? So that my home is where I have the opportunity to, it's my sanctuary. I can be vulnerable, all of that. But if you say be a man, then see, I can't, then I got to be closed with you.
Right. And I had to learn when Brian approached me one time and said, you don't allow me to lay my head in your lap. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what do you mean? Lay your head in my lap. He said, I can't be vulnerable. I can't let my guard down. I can't let, and I had to learn, this is a safe place for you.
Right.
And the scripture says this, and I'm across the boundary, but the scripture says, the wife of your youth and my breast is supposed to satisfy you at all times.
That's a comfort. That's what that means.
That's a place of comfort.
Right.
She talking good now, is she, Elder?
Oh, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day.
But it's true. We don't allow each other.
Here's what happens. That's
good,
Sister
Lady
Gloria.
Carter.
Here's what happens. We have to understand this. There's so many layers to men. There's so many layers to women, and what he experienced before he met you, he brings that into a relationship. Some men and some of us all have experienced hurt before they ever met you. And he may have come up, and I'm not saying that, but he may have come up with an abusive father and said, boy, you need a man up. You need a man. So now when you say that, that triggers that. And so we have to get very careful when we communicate, because we can say something that seems very simple and the person be offended by it, because sometimes we have been hurt and wounded as a child, and we've hidden that so deep within us that we don't even recognize it until someone says something that triggers it, and all of a sudden those same emotions come up. So when you say man up,
you take that callous off.
That's right. When you say man up, now I'm remembering my dad used to tell me that, and he said it such a way, and maybe you have to cry as a young boy. So now I'm hearing that, and I'm experiencing those same emotions all over again, just like he said. So he's not really hearing you say it; he's hearing his dad say it, and these are things that we deal with in relationship. So sometimes, I'm just using my wife as an example. I may say, "Well, why are you so upset about that?" Well, I don't know her past or what has happened to her, and when I say it, it may trigger something that happened to her as a child. It's not as much as what I said, but the memories, the emotions that are connected with it. You let you read that, Sister Myrna.
Sister Myrna Rich Ray. This is good teaching for both me and my husband, women and men. Thank you.
Thank you. So
bless you.
Thank you, Sister Myrna.
May I put something out there too? Is this when we was talking about being raised? I was a daddy's girl and didn't really realize I was a daddy's girl. Brian was a mama's boy, but I was a daddy's girl. My father did take care of me. He did everything. And I didn't realize I was bringing that into the relationship. Till one day I realized, I used to say all the time, my father, if it was snowing, he would take me to school. He would do these different things for me. He'd get up and I'd be like, Brian, why are you still in the bed? I'm just looking and I'm saying these even within my mind to the point that I'm getting angry. Now I'm like, why are you laying there? Making all this noise so you get up, so you can tend to me. And he's like, look, my mother took care of everything. So since my mother took care of everything, take yourself. So it's like, you got an issue. No, you have an issue. And so we realized
and that is so true. When you were saying that, I thought about this young lady who used to go to our church, and she was saying how her dad took care. He makes sure the doors was locked. She didn't have to, the doors locked, to her husband. But now I guess she's going around checking, make sure everything. But when she was stay with her dad, she didn't have to worry about none of that because her dad took care of them. So I get it. I get it.
So in this book right here, we have a chapter for the mama's boy, and I'm just gonna read a portion of it. That's actually mama's boy.
He was a mama's boy.
We have one chapter, mama's boy, and the daddy's girl, but it says, I would advise any woman get into a relationship with a man that if he has an unhealthy relationship with his mother to the point he cannot focus or relate outside of the realm of her permission or delight, to think twice before pursuing their relationship. Some young men have such deep emotional attachment issues with their parents, in particular their mother, that they have developed a dependence to the point they are unable to operate outside their approval. I've seen this before. It said they are unable to please anyone besides their father or mother. An unhealthy maternal attachment, the child has either been spoiled to the point they cannot feel for anyone else, or may have been so controlled that they are unable to make any independent decisions without the approval of the parents. I'm going to read this last part. Unfortunately, I have seen relationships separate because a husband could not get over his mother, even when it came to the point where he had to make a choice to please his mother or his spouse. He would choose to please the mother. The Bible explicitly states, for this cause shall man leave his father and mother and to his wife, and they two shall be twain. Then I don't have time, but we talk about the daddy's girl too. I'm gonna say too often the daddy's girl who has been able to properly, who has not been able to properly make the adjustment from a father-daughter relationship to a male-female relationship, or even including a platonic friendship, will think the world evolves around her. This would be good if she were able to extend the same degree of love and support to her mate or friend. But unfortunately, it is usually a one-sided situation where the woman is so self-absorbed that she cannot or will not allow herself to think fully of the needs of her mate or others. I can go into more, but I'm not going to take a whole lot of time.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And, because what attracted me to Gloria was her independence and the fact that compared to previous things, I mean, she had a backbone, and the fact that, I didn't have to, a whole lot of gifts and things like, because I got a daddy. I don't need you for that. You know what I'm saying? So,
and he was chasing that long apostolic skirt. That's what he was doing.
Oh, yeah. Lord. Oh,
This,
well,
this,
but,
this
but,
is
but,
that part two.
that-
We gotta hit that part two. Yeah,
yeah, that would be the whole nother song. But yeah, that would definitely was the independence. And
Right.
so because my mother was independent, had to
Very
be,
much.
if you raised in New York and everything, you gotta get on the subway. You gotta do a whole lot of things, on your own. And while my dad was in seminary, she was just doing a lot of things and stuff. And so, but she was raised by a strong father. So
all girls.
and
So
it was
they had to
all
be-
girls.
they had to
So
be boy and girl.
he manned them up, so to speak, of like, hey, you ain't necessarily gonna catch a good man the way things going. So I'm gonna teach you how to do everything you need to do to survive. So that's kind of that I guess that would be the background to, okay, I don't have her out there shoveling the snow. I hope nobody gets that impression.
But I can if I have to.
Well, yeah, but that's not what.
One thing you said, you like what sometimes people they say opposites attract, and I can remember when I was thinking about courting, I kind of wanted, I didn't want somebody that was real easy. Didn't want anybody real tough. I remember one time I was talking to my wife and I was trying to court, and she said,
Excuse me.
you see, I don't want to be bothered with you. Go about your business. That hurt my feelings. She just said, in other words, she told me, get to Stephen. And you know what I said, that's a woman I'm going to marry.
There we go. I like that.
It was a challenge there.
A little challenge.
Chase. It's called a chase.
Then on wedding day, I said on the wedding day when I was at the altar, I said, "Did I get played? Did she play me?"
Chicken. It's after 9 though.
So I said, "Did she play me?" So the thing about it is that we sometimes have different types of relationships. People are different. But I remember one time she said, I love you because you tell me when I'm right and you tell me when I'm wrong. You remember that, sweetheart?
No.
You don't remember that? She said, I love you because and so then after a while, after we've been married about 10, 15 years, that wasn't so cute no more, telling when you're right and when you're wrong.
Right.
Those are challenges. So now, again, the difference is me and my wife. I could go on my wife. She reminded me, she said, "Oh, it's after 9 o'clock. Your time was up."
Yeah, way
so,
up.
So we normally try to go to 9 o'clock because we could go longer, but I realized if we go longer, then we lose people. Because people said, "Man, I ain't gonna go in there because they
Right.
So I'm gonna get the cards. I'm gonna let you guys have a final say, and we might have to have part two of this right here, part two, and
I would love to, because we, especially want to open up for questions. But a couple things is just remember this: love one another according to the word, and be kind to one another. Like you said before, you never know who you're entertaining and what they're going through.
That's true.
It's okay to say good morning to somebody. It's okay to say, how are you doing today? The reason for my call, like if I'm calling somebody, the first thing I'll do is say, hello, how are you? And that's jumped in. I said, the reason for my call today is this: I've pulled you into my world. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, we have to pull on each other to understand each other. One thing that attracted Brian to me more than anything, that he had a listening ear. And it wasn't just because he was a social worker. He took the time to listen to me. And I took the time to take what he said into prayer and ask the Lord to give and reveal to me what his needs were. Because I remember running around trying to and listening to other people telling me how to treat my husband. And one day he told me, why don't you ask me how I want to be treated?
That's good.
Ask me what I want you, what you want me to wear. Ask me what meal I like. Don't go by what other people say.
All right.
Comes from communication.
Yeah.
So,
and I would just say that just like the topic says, is there a perfect relationship? No, but there is a perfecting and mode in relationships. You can't let it go stale and say, well, it worked 5 years ago, it worked 10 years ago.
There's stages,
you have to,
seasons.
you have to move with the cloud. Move with the cloud, and that will help you stay attuned and afresh with your Jay. Okay, what season is it now?
Right.
You know, and what can I do for you in this season? Because I see that the stuff from the fall ain't working, in the winter.
And I remember when the first time you ever said that to me, it baffled me so much. I had to table it. I said, I can't even answer that question because I'm not used to you saying, what can I do for you in this season? Because you're in a different season. This ain't the same Gloria right now. What's going on with you? And I had to go sit back and reflect and then come back and tell him, you know what? Thank you for pointing it out. Let me tell you what's going on. And the same thing.
And you have to grow together. Too, and this right here, what you were saying, Eller said, women wish men knew the importance of just listening. They do not have to try to solve all their problems, but be there with a supportive listening ear. And I think that's so important. Not only husband, wife, but your best friend. Sometimes people have a friend that all they do is tell them their problem, but when it comes time to reciprocate and you want to tell them your problem, they're absent. They're nowhere to be found. But again, we thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.
Bless you.
We appreciate those on here for your comments. Let me see. I think Elder Amos, I guess he has the last comment, and he was on my case. He always gets on my. So hi, tell him, Sister Walton. Okay, Elder Amos.
Yeah, I saw that.
He embellishes that. So but I'm gonna have to tell Sister Amos to get on his case then. But like I said, you change with the season. You have to learn to recognize each other, and you evolve, and you have to. The main thing is to grow together. And another thing I'm going to say, last thing, is shared experiences. As a couple, you have to share experience. If you don't share those experiences, then you can grow apart. And you want to grow apart, and you got to be able to communicate. Well, we love you.
Love
God
y'all.
Bless each and every one of you. Thanks again for. We're gonna have you on again. All right. Thanks again for joining this week. So, and those on here, we want to encourage you. Please share. And if you have questions or comments, please feel free to inbox us. And each week we tell people if there's a topic that you want to talk about, inbox me. Let me know. There's not a topic that I'm afraid to talk about. I'm open to talk about any subject that you want to talk about because it's your turn now. God bless you. We love you. Take care. We'll see you next week for another exciting episode of It's My Turn.